The thing that is most threatening to the global elite that still control many things in the Western world, the thing that's most threatening to them is people, and especially the middle and working class. I mean, the professional classes are completely indoctrinated and bought out and everything. They're not a threat.
Mm.
But you've got all these other people in the middle class that are a real threat, because if they start talking among themselves and decide who to elect and actually elect people that represent them and do things like that, it becomes very dangerous for them. You know,
Mm.
we live in a very crazy world where the actual bosses are invisible. The people who run the place, we don't know what their structure is. We don't know who they are exactly. We don't
Mm.
know what their mechanisms are, what the controls are. We don't know anything. And so they're vulnerable, because sooner or later people are going to want to know who these people are and how they operate. And they're going to want to enforce transparency and accountability sooner or later, because it's become so obvious that we're
Mm.
run by this global cabal, you know? So they are vulnerable, and the way they can defend themselves against people who might become political and might organize and might start having ideas and learning things on their own and so on, the way they can defend against that, one way, is to have complete surveillance and complete control of the internet environment, and to isolate them so they're not meeting, so they're not talking, so they can't easily organize into political parties and so on. And when they do, you know everything about them, because they're doing it on Zoom, and they're doing
Mm.
it by communication methods that you can peer into whenever you want. We're a great danger to them if we decide to have some democracy and some transparency and some accountability. That would be dangerous. So I think they're deadly afraid of that, because they're competing groups within the West, and some people have decided that they need to cut China off, because the biggest way to handle this competitor is to cut them off and to solidify what we already have,
Mm.
and the continents that we exploit already. Versus there was still a belief in the global elite that you could take China through investment and through influence through capitalism.
Mm.
That has failed. That has failed because the communist government is too well organized and has
Yeah.
maintained sovereignty on China. So there are these big debates happening as to how to do this.
Mm.
And so, yeah, political changes can change how we see China and how we cooperate or not in the world with what some would see as competitors, others see as something to take over, others see as, you see what I'm saying?